Hi everybody, it's Chef Shoshana. Today we're going to be making 3 recipes that will help to use up any challah you have left and have stored in your freezer. If you're like me, you'll have quite a bit to get rid of. The first recipe we'll be making is a simple crouton recipe. We're going to start by cubing our challah. You want to go through and make sure that for the croutons you're using plain or seasoned challah. Once you have all of your croutons cut up, you're going to add your seasoning. We want to first start by spraying extra virgin olive oil spray. Then stirring your croutons up. Actually, your cubed challah, it's not croutons yet. Giving another spritz. And you can go a little heavy on this. You want to make sure that all of the bread has olive oil spray on it. Then we're going to season the breadcrumbs. I have oregano, basil, garlic, black pepper, and kosher salt. And you're just going to take some, sprinkle it in, a little bit of this, sprinkle it in, a little garlic. In fact, you could do a little more garlic. We like garlic in our house. A little black pepper and a little bit of salt. Mix it up. You can get your hand in there if you need to give it a good mix. If you need to give another spritz, you really want to be able to see that the croutons have a nice layer of oil on them. I don't know if you can see that, but we're then going to get an aluminum sheet pan that we've lined with parchment paper, and we're going to spray that with our olive oil spray. Again, a nice, good coating, because this is going to help to get all of the sides nice and browned. Then take your croutons and dump them out in a single layer. And just because we really do want to brown it, we're going to give it one more spritz. And we're going to place this in a 350-degree oven, and we're going to check it about every 5 to 10 minutes because we want to keep turning it so that nothing burns. Okay, this is our first check, and you can see things are starting to look a little on the brown side. Okay, I'm going to be removing this from the oven so that we can give it a quick shake up and turn. You can see that it's starting to get nice and brown. We're going to just use a spatula, turn it around. We want to make sure that every side gets a crisp edge. Spread it back out and put it back into the oven. Okay, so we're taking these out yet again, and we're going to give them another turn. They're still crisping, and then you can see the color is starting to look the way a crouton should look. Back in the oven, make sure they're spread out. Okay, it's time to take our croutons out. They are crispy and golden brown. and they are going to be delicious over soup or salad. Okay, here you can see we have our crispy golden croutons. They're going to cool, and you want to store them in an airtight container. They can also be refrozen at this time. Okay, you may have also noticed that there are a lot of crumbs. Those can be used just like a regular breadcrumb. Add them to your breading when you're making schnitzel. Add them to the top of any baked dish that would call for breadcrumbs, and they have a nice, yummy flavor. For our second dish, we're going to be making an oven-baked French toast casserole. For this recipe, we're going to be using plain challah without any seasoning. We're going to be cutting this again into cubes. All in all, we're going to need 10 cups of cubed challah. Once you have your challah cubed and you have 10 cups, you're going to take a casserole dish and a stick of butter, and you're going to grease your casserole dish. Once your casserole dish is very well greased, we're going to pour our challahs that have been cubed right in there. Alternately, you could use margarine, earth balance, or a vegetable spray in the dish. And if you wanted to make the casserole dairy-free, I'd say go ahead and use margarine and almond milk or any milk alternative of your choice. Next, we're going to make our custard, which is what's going to make the casserole French toast. We're going to add a cup and a half of milk. I'm using whole milk. We're going to add 5 eggs. Quarter cup of sugar, and yes, I did add the eggs off camera. Half of a teaspoon of cinnamon and a pinch of kosher salt. With your whisk, you're going to whisk this together, making sure to break up those egg yolks. And we're going to pour this over our challah cubes. If you want to make sure that everything is all connected and mixed together, you can just give it a little squiggle like this with your hands. Make sure all the challah has a little bit of the liquid. And then we're going to add our topping. To make our topping, we're going to be melting over a medium heat 4 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and a pinch of kosher salt. We're going to do this over a medium flame. We don't want to burn the sugar. We just want to have everything get nice and melted. You can see in the pan, the sugar and the butter are melting together nicely. Let's keep that flame down. We don't want to burn anything. We just want it to be nice and melted. Okay, our butter and our cinnamon, everything is all melted together nicely. What we're going to do next is take a half of a cup of pecans. We're going to sprinkle those over our casserole. If you don't have pecans, you can use chopped walnuts, you could use chopped almonds, you could leave them out. We're then, with our spoon, we're going to drizzle our melted butter and brown sugar over the top of this as evenly as we can. And now it's time to bake our French toast casserole. We're going to be placing this into a 375 degree oven. Our French toast casserole is going to bake for between 35 and 40 minutes. We'll give it a check in about 30. The last thing we'll be making today with our leftover challah are breadcrumbs. We'll be adding the toasted crumbs left from making our croutons. Okay, to make our breadcrumbs, we're going to be using the toasted crumbs from making croutons earlier, and I have some odds and end pieces of some seasoned challah. This also has some nuts in it, but that's totally okay. We're going to add these right into our magic bullet, put the lid on, and give it a quick zoom. Shake it up. Add some of our toasted breadcrumbs that we made with our croutons, and there's some chunks in here, so that's going to help to grind everything up. Put the lid back on, and another shake. And there you go. You have beautiful breadcrumbs that you can use on top of schnitzel, on top of a casserole, inside of a meatloaf, wherever you would use breadcrumbs. Okay, I had to show you. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is our French toast casserole. You can let this sit for about 10 minutes before serving. Sprinkle with dried fruit, raisins, cranberries. You could put some fresh fruit, blueberries, peach slices. You can use maple syrup, powdered sugar, whatever your personal preference is. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed the recipes we made together. This is Chef Shoshana, the out-of-town cook, saying goodbye for now.